start by extending my interest and my sincere appreciation and warmest congratulations to NITI Aayog for launching the Frontier Tech Hub, which was just done a few weeks ahead of this, which is such a great thing to happen. Congratulations to you, the CEO as well as the distinguished fellow. We see the NITI Frontier Tech Hub as a huge game changer for us in terms of being not just only fully aligned with the Viksit Bharat vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, but also aimed at accelerating our India's socio-economic growth. It really just not only advances the adoption of frontier technologies, it also strongly would position India as a global tech leader. And with the focus that we see on inclusivity, on skill development and bridging of the digital divide, we feel that it will definitely ensure the inclusion and the benefit that should accrue to our 1.4 billion people. We at the institution, as the Corporation of Indian Industry, CII, is indeed very, very proud to partner with NITI Aayog in this very important and pioneering mission. And with us, we have such strength in terms of the regional associations, the sectoral associations, which makes this, and the MSME sector, which are represented directly and through the associations, which makes it very meaningful for us to be facilitating and coordinating this. I would again like to repeat the NITI Frontier Tech Hub focus and prioritization for supporting this and giving this space to the micro and the small and the medium enterprises for future proofing for technology, and which is indeed today required on a war footing. When we all talk in our meetings internally and with our policymakers, we talk about how do we work together in partnership for Viksit Bharat 2047, which and the MSMEs we always go. I mean, I don't need to repeat to this group about the significance and importance of the MSMEs and the type of employment that would get generated from this segment. But one of the areas that we have been concerned, and we have been talking about it in several of our board meetings too, is the gap that remains on the technology adoption, digital strategies, as well as skills support. That's something that we would really like to be focusing on through the launch today of DX Edge. And for all of that, it is significant to have the participation, leadership, and presence of the Ministry of Micro and Small and Medium Enterprises, and I'm so grateful to Sri S.C.L. Das for this phenomenal effort that she has made. And actually, I must say that the contribution that she has also made towards seeing to it that the DX Edge is well conceived, and we'd really like to put it on record our appreciation for it. I'd also like to move to another very important area, which we have seen was the budget of 2025, and in that we heard at that point in time from our Honorable Finance Minister the significant prioritization towards the small and the medium and the micro enterprises, and which included enhancement of credit support, the credit guarantee scheme being enhanced, the simplification of compliance norms. So all of this leads to the facilitation again towards technology upgradation and the continued push that we look forward to on digital infrastructure. From our institution, we would really look to collaboration, partnership across the country, even the state governments. As we look, our main partners, of course, will be, while the industry is there in the group very strongly, academia would need to play a phenomenal role, as we see along with our policymakers' support and help. And we would like to see this, the center, the entire process of the project, the several centers of excellence which has been created by the CII to hold in the DX Edge very strongly. I'll take one example, and there's been a center that we had created on digital transformation, and one where we were really blessed when the CII Center on Employment and Livelihood was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister middle of last year, and which will actually, the purpose of the center was to see to it how we facilitate technology enablement transformation of our micro and small enterprises. So it's going to be a center which will work with the large enterprises, will take the knowledge, expertise of some of our large members who have the tech knowledge, and some of them are present here from the manufacturing side, to bring that in. So we also have in this session today some of the best mid-sized companies, small companies, and even micro enterprises here, and they will be sharing some of the case studies, which are successful case studies on digital adoption. Some of them, they keep talking about themselves to be small and medium, but they are pretty large today in the way they have grown. And the idea is to see how we can help our small and the mid-sized companies grow. It's not for them to remain small, but for them to grow. That's the way we would like to go ahead. So DX Edge is not just, I shouldn't call it just a program. It will be hopefully turning into a major national movement led by our industry with the help, again, as I mentioned, of our partners, our stakeholders, which will be primarily academia and, of course, the government. So, through the establishment of our 500 digital transformation facilitation centers, we are looking at creating a very strong on-ground presence in collaboration with the collaborators that I mentioned with. And we look at every year over 25,000 odd students to be trained as frontline enablers. And these students are not only going to gain skills, then they are going to become really the catalysts of transformation. And that's where, again, we see a phenomenal role of the AICTE and Professor T.G. Sitaram would, his support, his leadership would be greatly valued. I'd like to conclude because there are so many other areas that we would like to cover in this short session, and we have some of the phenomenal minds to speak about it. So I'd like to conclude by saying that let us work together in this huge project that we have taken on ourselves, and I'd like to express my gratitude to the CEO of NITI Aayog for giving this space, this partnership, and this leadership. Thank you very much, Mr. Subramanian, for always being so much understanding of the Indian industry and the Indian policy ecosystem, and seeing how changes can make us a global leader. And I'd like to also record our appreciation to the distinguished Vijayani Ghosh for her giving us this space too. And thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, for also being here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome, and thank you very much. Now I request Mr. Vijayani Ghosh for the remarks on the future proofing of the MSMEs.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. It feels old calling you that, given that you're senior to all of us. But Mr. Subramanian, Mr. Das, and my dear friends, I mean, it's so fantastic to see so many known faces and all my old friends from the industry here. Really fantastic to see it. And this is indeed a very special day for us. As the Frontier Tech Hub, this is one of the first big flagship initiatives that we are launching today. And I couldn't be happier partnering with CII to bring this, to make this real. So, you know, for us techies, all the techies in the room, I think you will agree that Fed in March is Christmas for us. This is when all the analysts start coming out with their tech trends. what's going to happen, and I'm not going to go into details, so don't get scared by the slide, but everyone talks about it, but if you look at across the tech trends today, you look at Gartner, you look at FTSG, you look at all the other big ones that come up, there are two things that are common, that are truly standing out. The first, it pretty much is, no matter which analyst report you're looking at, technologies are now cutting across every single industry. There is not a single, there is only one industry or one profession where the experts still don't believe robots or AI can replace the human, and that's hairstyling. That's the only one. But beyond that, pretty much every single industry, and if you see this chart, it will tell you every single industry is today being disrupted by technology. And the second one, it's no more about the future. It's happening today. If you look at the second column, which is AI, it's now. The disruption across industry is happening today, it's happening now. And the third trend that comes out from all the analyst reports is that it's going to be about the convergence of technologies more than one technology alone. That's where the magic lies. That's where we're going to see the maximum impact. And when you think about convergence, that's where frontier tech is. Because I always get asked this question, what is frontier tech? Frontier tech is the great convergence where technology meets science. Because that's where we see the biggest impact. And we at MITI have come out with this term, the AI plus era. Because we believe that this convergence, where you have AI as a horizontal, it's a groundbreaking, transformational technology that pretty much runs across everything, it's the foundation. But AI will come together with bio, with physics, with chemistry, with maths to make the big difference. And this is the AI plus era that we are entering. And what we think this is going to result in is what we call force multipliers. This is going to create force of change bigger than anything we could have imagined till now. And it's already creating. And these force multipliers is what we as a country have to unlock to realize our vision of Viksit Bharat, to realize our vision of becoming a developed nation by 2047. And that is the charter of MITI's Frontier Tech Hub. That is what we are set out to do. It's an action tank for Viksit Bharat, and we have two very simple goals. First, spot these trends early, spot them 5 years down the line, spot them 10 years before they happen. But spot these trends early, study these trends, analyze its impact on social growth, on economic growth, on national security, national competitiveness, etc., etc. And bring industry together, bring government together, academia together to figure out how should India be ready, not just to adapt and use, which is what we have been doing for a very long time, but to shape the innovation trajectory of some of these trends. Trends like biotech is going to change life as we know it. We have to be ahead in the game. And the second charter for us is how do we build India, position India as the true frontier tech nation. As a leader, when the world talks about frontier tech, we want the world to talk about India. And that's the two simple objectives that we have taken as MITI Frontier Tech Hub. And as you think about this journey cannot be successfully realized without the MSMEs. The MSMEs are at the core of this journey. And I think I would quote the Prime Minister here because he summed it up so beautifully. MSMEs are the backbone of industrial growth. And I think we all get that. We know how important this sector is, not just for India today, but how important this sector is for driving that accelerated growth and transformation that India needs to become Viksit Bharat. But there are challenges. Now we know that digital transformation is going to be the key to unlock the full potential of MSMEs. This is what's going to transform the MSME sector to become the true engine of growth for Viksit Bharat. But there are hurdles that we have to overcome. Today, nearly 90% or over 90% of MSMEs acknowledge that AI is important. They get it. So the awareness is there. They absolutely get it. But more than 60% do not know how to use it, do not know what the technologies are, do not know what kind of skills are required, do not know where the budget will come from. So this awareness gap, the how, the knowledge to how do I use this technology? I know this technology is important for me, and I think all MSME programs or education programs should stop preaching to the choir and telling MSMEs AI is important for you. Everyone gets that. But how do I use it? That's the big question. That's the question that we have to answer. And that's where I think DXN is so exciting. And I still remember when Sujit, who's right there, and he's the person who really conceived this idea, when he came to me first to say, we want to work with you on an MSME program, I said, nothing doing. Everyone's working on MSME programs and nothing's happening. And then he started unraveling the layers and telling me what this program really means. And there are three things that really stood out for me and why I believe this program will be successful. First, it's built on the foundation of robust public-private partnership and the right public-private partnership. If you look at the CII brings in the industry, brings in the power of industry. As Frontier Tech Hub, we bring in the power of technology know-how. And no better partner than AICTE, and welcome Professor Sitaram, to bring in the power of academia, the power of knowledge. Right? It's the perfect recipe for success. I love the way this triple helix is formed for us, where the three right partners have come together. Second, it's ecosystem-led, completely ecosystem-led. The design the program has been designed in such a way where this is about academia, industry, knowledge partners coming together to lead this. I love the idea of so many regional institutes working with us, getting trained with the support of AICTE to create that experience for their students to go and sit down with an MSME founder and think about his digital journey and help him understand what the gaps are and how does he need to use the solution. Now, of course, it's beneficial for the MSME owner, but think of the value it provides to the students. This is learning he or she will never get in their classroom. I mean, this is such a brilliant way the program has come together. And the third and most important imperative is customization. The reason most MSME programs and industry has tried, right, and in my earlier role had tried many, have failed, is because we think of MSMEs as a homogeneous unit. We think one. This is the most diverse ecosystem that we have, sectorally, size-wise. And I think the beauty of VX Edge is that it takes into account the diversification of this sector as an advantage and not a challenge. And right from the way we have designed this program, it accounts for this diversity, and it is about understanding specific needs, and this is where the academia students come in, and then figuring out specific solutions for the partners, and this is of course where industry comes in. So as we move towards the goal of 30 trillion by 2047, I mean, many people say this is too much, this is exponential growth, but we are living in exponential times. Frontier tech is about exponential growth. The thing is, can we use it to our advantage or not, right? And as we do this, I think as CII, NITI, the commitment is we have to make the MSMEs the growth engine for Executive. Cannot happen without that. So I'm so thankful to all of you for coming together. I know we held an industry call like few days back, just 2-3 days back. You had very short notice. More than around 50 of you showed up. And the enthusiasm was so fantastic. It gave me so much hope. Put my faith back in the industry that yes, we can do this together. So thank you again for all your partnership. And as Niti at the Frontier Tech Hub, we are guided by one thing, which is there's no way you can predict the future. But if we all come together, we can definitely create the future that we want. So let's come together and make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ghosh. We now move into an exciting part of today's program, the case study presentations, where we will hear directly from MSME leaders who have successfully implemented digital transformation in their businesses. To begin with, I'd like to invite Mr. K.V. Sanyo, founder of Naga Education Private Limited.
Distinguished guests, delegates, and dignitaries, it's such a pleasure to be here and such an honor. I'm just going to twist the definition of frontier tech right now for a little bit because we are from the frontier. And we deploy tech in the frontier. So of course I'm talking about and I'm speaking about Nagaland, and in one of the areas that we work in, Kipri, one of our aspiration districts. So we've been working there for a couple of years now, deploying digital education solutions in these remote areas. So for those who have not been and haven't had the pleasure to come through, I'll describe it for you. You'll catch a flight from Delhi. You'll land in Dimapur, it's a small airport for those who've been. You'll take a 10-hour ride to the town capital. And then from there, you'll swap into a 4x4 to reach some of the villages that we're working in. I had the pleasure to be there. And from the ridges of the hilltops, you're looking over Myanmar. And so that's what we call frontier tech. So these, while being there and crossing across these regions, I've had the pleasure to speak to district administration, the students, the teachers, and the community. And we've spoken to thousands of them, we've surveyed them, we've continued to speak to them. And what we find is that there is an embrace of digital learning. Students here, although they're not in the cities, have as close aspirations as anywhere else. They want to be doctors, they want to work in government administration, they want to be business people. And they know that education is a great emancipator. And they are also aware that technology can get them there. But unfortunately, of course, in our far-flung regions, we have these barriers. One of them is, of course, the connectivity. I'll speak to that. Secondly is the teachers. What we're asking teachers to do under national education policy is to teach in a way that they've never experienced. So for most of our teachers in our state, 50% are qualified, are underqualified, or not qualified at all. Right? And most teachers have come through a system of rote. And they've been teaching rote for decades. And now we're asking to move up Bloom's taxonomy and teach in an experience that they themselves have never experienced. So they would, again, are some of the barriers. Despite these barriers, the community is enthusiastic. The community wants technology to come in. They want to utilize it. They want to leverage it to emancipate themselves. One other thing that we found is that blended is the way. So when we go into the schools, we look at blended teaching. How do we integrate technology into the classroom rather than replace it? I think so the question is, what are we doing? So when we began this project, we started by listening. We started with a process of generative listening. This means that listening to the community members, listening to their challenges and their aspirations, but through that process, working with them to help generate a new possibility for themselves that they didn't see before. This really adds to the enthusiasm and the sustainability of the program. That within the solutions, they have their voices heard. Of course, internet connectivity has been a problem there. But one of the amazing things that we found is that there was 5G, right? So towers have been deployed across the frontier. And these villagers had no idea it even existed. So none of their devices are 5G compatible, right? So when we talk about lack of connectivity, it's a farce. Right? So we went all the schools, we deployed 5G routers, giving them access. Some of these challenges that we talk about connectivity is also a problem of the past. So when we were looking at solutions, many people came up with offline deployment. We have to deploy offline because of the lack of connectivity. These are problems of a previous generation. And I believe Starlink will be here soon. We have OneWeb. We have solutions that we have challenges that the new generations are going to face, not what the old generations are going to face. Right? So we're not building offline. We're building online. We're building on 5G. So, and the last thing is empowering the teachers. I think I spoke about the delivery mechanism. So teachers are the delivery mechanism. We don't want to replace them, of course. But one of the challenges in these areas, in the Northeast, the average school size is 107 students. So if you can imagine the foothills of the Nile, just upon the ridges, tiny villages with small schools. This is not an HR solution. You cannot deploy the manpower to bring quality education to these villages. So one of the things, of course, we've done is we've deployed an AI chatbot. We call it Vivi AI. We've got we've customized database. It's a retrieval augmented generation, which helps customize the responses for the students. Right? We've also tailored the prompts, and it's far superior to other solutions for this specific use case. Not only that, we're teaching teachers how to build plans using this AI chatbot on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp, you know why? Because of connectivity and all that sort of thing. So we have teachers who didn't know how to use a computer, now leveraging generative AI. With the teachers, it's also another thing, it's about the shift in the mindset. So by leveraging these tools, by deploying online LMS, by deploying generative AI teaching aid and student aid for math and science subjects, because of the lack of strength of the teachers, we're turning them into facilitators, and I think that is the vision of the National Education Policy. So it's not just about injecting technology, it's about a mindset shift in their role and how they perceive themselves. Right? And that's what aids with the technology adaptation in what we call the frontier. So, of course, the blended model. One other thing that we found is that students move from a smaller village to a larger village. And in that smaller village, they usually have a primary school but no higher secondary school or high school. So when they move, they go for their board exams. And they're not equipped. Because usually those small schools have poor teachers, poor resources, and they're very rural. So what we did was we mapped that within that platform, we mapped back the curriculum, topic by topic, subtopic by subtopic, back to its foundational. So if you're in class 9, class 10, you're reading at you're understanding at class 6 or class 7 level, or even less, by clicking through buttons, you can map that your whole curriculum so that you can begin very immediately technology to personalize learning. So what we're doing is we're targeting about 1 lakh organizations across our region, and we want to look at more rural and remote regions across the globe. These are the numbers, these are our partners. My name is Kenji Satospendi. Thank you so much for having me here. This is my partner, Troy Scheiser. And of course, we can't do this alone. So we have an immense number of partners helping us, supporting us with technology, with resources. So thank you so much to our partners. And really, I just want to invite all of you in uplifting education for rural and remote communities. If this is something that resonates with you, if this is something that you'd like to get involved with, here's my contact. Please get in touch. But thank you so much for having us here.
Our next speaker represents the power of digitization in traditional manufacturing. Please welcome Mr. Amit Makaria, proprietor of Swastik Shitpriya in Paris.
Good afternoon all. I thank dignitaries, esteemed members, Team CII for this wonderful opportunity and discussing my journey on digital transformation in manufacturing sector and being a micro enterprise. This is something sounding very uncommon to my customers. Like if we dealing with OEMs and the level of adoption of digital transformation in the micro level industry is something that they encourage us. So while moving further, digital transformation, as the word suggests, transformation means like how we are going through the traditional businesses will not going to work in future in any case. So I say it as a small business passport for big leagues. As a micro enterprise, we were facing challenges. Though we wanted to supply to OEMs, with customers, we were facing challenges like the lengthy audits. It was taking even 2 days to meeting their checkpoints, training our team, limited efforts, perception, the most, the problem, what we were seeing as a small business, as a micro business, we were seen as just as a part suppliers. We were never being a solution partner to our customers. We were fighting for the prices. The whole scenario was like being a part supplier. Paper-based documentation with limited team. Because as a micro enterprise, when you have a team of 2 or 3 people only in your staff, you do have a product, you do have a quality, you do have a system, but all these were documented. Limited visibility into the machine and its performance, its output, its optimization, difficulty in meeting OEM compliance, requirements with a small team. So the whole mind shift started in year 2022, and I would like to thank my mentor Rajiv Chawla ji for guiding me through this process. So in year 2022, we started analyzing, being a small micro level business, how we can change the perception of our customers, how our customer can see us as a solution partner, not just a part supplier. The micro segment, small segment suppliers sitting here would relate with me that supplying to big OEMs, their system suppliers need a lot of system, lot of compliances, because they need a supplier. They don't want to supplier their line will stop. So the need for digital transformation in our life started in 2022. In digital transformation, I will be taking a 2 scope, what we covered in our transformation. First one is digitization and other is digitalization. Coming to the next part. So, being a micro level, as we cannot afford SAP, heavy systems, which is, if you see even the reckoning cost, implementation cost, I'm not asking right now. Even if you see the implementation cost year-on-year basis, that is too high for a micro level industry. How we overcome this? We work on a cloud-based system. If you see on the top left bottom side, this is a cloud-based system with zero recurring cost. Zero recurring cost. We are not paying anything to anyone for implementing this system. We have implemented in our QMS, accessible by all our departments, whether it is quality, any job function group which is related to the micro manufacturing sector. They have access to the system. Then we installed real-time monitoring system for our machines. That all things going in 2022. By this, we able to find the gaps where we were lacking. Why we are not able to afford big team leaders in our team? Why we are not able to expand our team in a bigger way? So, we installed this digitalization system, that is real-time monitoring system, onto our machines that was started giving the real-time insights about the machine, the area of optimization, where we can optimize our production, increase our profit levels, capture more customers, increase our productivity. Then, in manufacturing sector, digital transformation is as I mentioned that digitization and digitalization both are involved. So, going from traditional measurement system into manufacturing, because delivering the right product every time, each time to customer, that is the demand of every industry, every consumer. So, under the guidance, we change our measurement control systems from analog to digital measurement controls, which is well appreciated by our customers. That is a part of the sustainable initiative what we have taken into our manufacturing to truly transform our operations. Our approach to the business was very clear. Our approach focused on maximum impact with minimal investments, specially designed for sustainable growth as a micro enterprise. So challenges, I understand. The challenges, if you are a micro level, you have a different set of challenges. Medium, small, every industry by size or by team, every industry has their own challenges. So this is the way how we overcome being a micro industry and present it to a customer. The beauty, the best thing now is the audit which was going through 2 days. Now just a matter of few hours only. 75% reduction in time. Production optimization. In our industry segment, the forward adoption was 1.5 lakh. Now we have reached 2.6 lakh. Business relationship, operational efficiency, of course, sustainability, that goes, and that is the need of the future. Not only the safe operations, safe people, safe environment, and empower each and everyone, even your community. So, now, during the starting phase, what I learned that every industry starts small, and by their dedication, efforts, they go big. So, in a digital age, is this a size which is limiting your potential, or are you limiting your potential? How do you think about your size? We overcome this challenge, did the digital transformation, and now I can proudly say we are getting more and more customers, adding at least 1 or 2 OEMs every year, and we are expecting, you can say, a double-digit growth every year. So this is from all my side. As a micro enterprise, our greatest advantage is not about resources. It's about the responsiveness. So as a micro enterprise, all the enterprises, this starts small. Responsiveness is the key. And digital transformation is the solution to make you big. This is all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kakaria. Our third presenter brings us a story from the heart of India's auto manufacturing belt. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ishnur Singh Ahuja, Director, Ishman Components LLP.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here today sharing my digitalization journey with such a distinguished audience. My name is Ishnur Singh Ahuja and I am representing Ishman Components LLP. We are a manufacturing unit specializing in wiring harnesses and sheet metal components that cater to industries, automotive and household appliances. Today I'm here to share a bit about what made me begin my digitalization journey, my approach towards it, and the benefits that I've reaped so far. In late 2021, when I joined the company, I realized that inefficiency had become a norm. Even though these challenges were frustrating for my team members at that time, solving them seemed a lot more complex, and eventually what we had to do was we had to settle for them, we had to learn how to live with them. Nonetheless, it was clear to me, I was certain about the fact that if we were supposed to thrive instead of survive, we have to adopt digitalization in a manner that is cost effective, first and foremost, practical and impactful. So let's have a look at the reasons that led me to begin my digitalization journey. If you have a look at the reasons on the board, you will realize that there is some sort of connectivity to it that leads to one highlighted reason in red, which is the main thing that I wanted to eliminate from the company. Significantly high amount of investment of personal time and effort. What ended up happening was that I observed that poor task management led to less work taking a lot more space, which led to missed work, which led to crash in the SOPs of one department. Because the departments are interlinked, other SOPs were crashing, and what ended up happening in the end was work had to be done in backdate. I'm sure that is something that a lot of the industry of our level can relate to. Yes, our products were good. Yes, word of mouth was working for us. But regardless of the growth that we could see in the revenue, nothing was being improved in the time and energy that we had to invest into reaping those benefits. Things were becoming chaotic. There was a sense of high pressure because less work seemed to be taking a lot more space. When a company is going in at this stage, the amount of cash flow, the amount of cash reserve, liquid cash that a company has, and the amount of time and effort above everything else that the managing directors or the decision makers have to invest into themselves, to change their way of working, to invest in designing the system, and then to invest into their team members to improving their way of working and improving their collaboration is extremely limited. So what is required is a solution that is extremely low on cost and can be integrated into your existing workflows seamlessly. To do the same, we managed to do that using Google Workspace, AppScript, and automated workflows that allowed us, ideally we were expecting to do it at zero cost. Realistically, we did manage to do it at zero cost in terms of the technology that we use, but in all honesty, it does cost time and effort to design all of those systems. What ends up happening is that we managed to achieve 90% reduction in manual follow-ups. To show you a bit more about the benefits that we've reaped so far, I would like to tell you a little bit about how things were before and how things are now. Before, I'll give you an example like the decision makers of a company get a call from the customer to accept an emergency order. The decision maker in my company has to call the production guy, change the per day planning of the production. The production guy has to coordinate with the shop floor with the inventory. Now, the job cards are on left and right. Certain job cards have to be stopped, certain job cards have to be adopted into the production planning. These job cards end up overflowing into the next week's production planning, and then there's a lot more overlap into work. Overlap into work again goes back to your missed work, backlog, backdate working, SOPs crashing, systematic failures. If a system implodes, that only leads to a lot more of manual intervention just to keep it moving. Using these technologies, we have managed to create real-time tracking and collaborative sheets, production management systems that link inventory to the order tracking sheets, to the shop floor. We managed to create flow monitoring systems that ensure that the SOPs are being followed, and if not, we can immediately take action in time to ensure that there's not a lot of backlog that has to be done. And finally, we have interactive dashboards, again, at zero cost, only time and effort, that allow us to monitor the performance of individual departments so that we can ensure a continuous and improved quality to our customers. On the right side of this screen, you can see that now before we were planning of our production only up to a day or two, which was having to go through a lot of changes. Now we can do that for a week, and we can give monthly schedule and weekly schedule to our vendors so that there's like a seamless transition of the material incoming to the company and the material outflowing from the company. We have nearly zero disruptions on the production shop floor because of reasons such as shortages that were too late to be found, quality issues that had to be rectified at that time. The pre-dispatch inspection reports, the material inward inspection reports, and other such documentations now happen in real time because of the flow monitoring systems. The high freight costs for emergency orders that have to be taken care of have been gone down drastically. We have nearly zero work in progress that goes on to the next week. And all of these things are a very small, brief overview of the things that you can achieve using the right tools and technology. Eventually, I think like the conclusion, the whole point of us meeting here today is the fact that transformation, the digital transformation, is something that has harnessed micro, small, and medium enterprises to compete with the large enterprises. Before, it was assumed that the large enterprises are the ones who will have to invest heavily into these technologies and get farther ahead. But there are tools which are available to us now that can allow us to be a lot more competitive and efficient enough, which is completely unprecedented. That is my time. Thank you for having me here, and I look forward to discussions post that.
Thank you, Mr. Ahuja. The final case study today comes from a company that exemplifies Industry 4.0 transformation. I'd like to invite Mr. Bhavya Chawla, Director of Jairaj Ancillaries Private Limited, on the stage, please.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the respected dignitaries on the dais. We've been given very less time today to share our experience of digitalization, which is extremely important. कहते हैं जो डर फैला हुआ है AI का और technology का, so we are here to move with it, live with it. So while I joined the business 7-8 years down the line, I always heard that technology would be replacing entrepreneurs. But we at Jairaj, we believe that entrepreneurs who use technology will replace those entrepreneurs who do not use technologies. So I think that is something very, very basic that we followed, and few steps that we've taken in the past 5-6 years towards digitalization, which I'll take you through. So we are in the auto component manufacturing industry. We manufacture plastic auto components for the automobile sector. The most important, new product development, I think it is the backbone of any business, of any growth. So we digitalize the whole process. So the typical, the past era, while an RFQ comes in from a customer, so everything was being done manually. RFQ comes in and there are about 7-8 engineers at every step who log on to the computer from the RFQ stage, still the PPAPs and everything. So we digitalized the complete NPD process. So it was an 18-19 step NPD development process that we digitalized from starting the RFQs till the SOP stage. Everything is computerized. Even if after 10 years, for example, the OEM or, for example, any Maruti comes up to us and says that, okay, give us the last drawing or the last PCM. So we have it on our fingertips in one record. It is right there on the NPD software. Barcoding. I think very important in a business like us. Traceability is extremely important. So we implemented the barcoding process from the time of inverting the raw material till the time it is in WIP and converted into FG stage. So it is being monitored by barcoding at each step. So even after say months, if you want to see which batch was manufactured in which RM, so we can just scan the barcode and go through. Attendance, biometrics, everything is on cloud now. So we have 6 plants in India in different states of the country. So it was always a typical challenge, seeing that how many people are there in the plant, how many workers, the attendance. So everything is on cloud now. We are a complete paperless organization now. I'm proud to share that, and rather also cashless. So I think in the past 3-4 years, we have not withdrawn any cash from our bank accounts. Everything is digitalized. All reimbursements, payments throughout the country is digitalized for us. We worked very closely with few engineers from IIT, in developing software for production management. So they believed and we believe that any pain that we have in our organization is a similar pain what Ishnu might be having in your organization. So we ended up developing a PMS software. Sitting here in this meeting at this forum here, I can just log into my mobile phone and see which of my machines are working, what is the downtime, is there a cycle time, why was the breakdown, for how many hours was there a breakdown. So everything is monitored via sensors installed on every machine. It's a fantastic software. I believe it is now open to the market. Please do explore. I think this is the key of OEE, monitoring the OEEs. As I said, we have 6 plants in different cities. So we, again developed. We sat with the ERP company and we developed a complete software ERP for a company of our size to keep all of us connected. So on one platform, all our plants are connected. And I think the biggest challenge in our organization was always raw material purchases. So that is the only thing that we actually have in our hand, which is the raw material. So typically in past years, it was always that the plant used to call the purchase that हमको 10 किलो दाना भेज दो या 2 टन माल भेज दो. So via our ERP now, by entering the BOM, the ERP calculates the material required and the whole process has been optimized of material purchase, which is extremely important for us now. These are just the benefits of these simple digitalizations we have done. So we believe that more than 40 lakh we have already saved just by these key 3-4 digitalizations that we have already done. कहते हैं कि पानी की बूंद यदि तालाब में गिर जाए तो वह खो जाती है. वही बूंद अगर किसी फूल की पंखुड़ी पे गिर जाए तो वह चमकने लगती है. और वही पानी की बूंद अगर किसी सीप के मुंह में गिर जाए तो वह मोती बन जाती है. पानी की बूंद वही है, किस संगति में है इसका असर पड़ता है. So I would really like to thank CII, Niti Aayog for organizing, getting us all on board for such a great program together while we are opening our thoughts, our minds with you and exploring more possibilities in such an era. Thank you so much, and I think it's an endless journey and we are all with you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank all our MSME leaders for joining us today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the second part of the program, the launch and the unveiling of the DX Edge. May I please request Shri P.V.R. Subramanian to press the launch button.
Micro, small and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, form the backbone of India's economy. They contribute over 30% to the country's GDP, account for nearly half of its manufacturing output, and drive 46% of exports. They're also the second largest employer in the country, providing livelihoods across villages, towns and cities. As India advances towards its vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, the role of MSMEs will become even more crucial. By embracing digital tools, MSMEs can scale faster, operate more efficiently, reach wider markets, and innovate like never before. Digital transformation is not just a growth strategy, it's a growth multiplier. To support MSMEs in adopting future technologies, Confederation of Indian Industry, supported by NITI Frontier Tech Hub and All India Council for Technical Education, is proud to launch DX Edge, empowering excellence and growth through digital transformation. DX Edge is a national initiative to create a framework connecting MSMEs, technology providers, and academic institutions. DX Edge is designed to empower MSMEs to grow faster, reduce costs, and become globally competitive through affordable, expert-led digital transformation.
With DX Edge, even the smallest enterprise will be able to scale up, integrate with global supply chains, and innovate. This is a historic opportunity for Indian entrepreneurship, and I urge every MSME to take full advantage of it.
DX Edge is a game changer we have been waiting for. It will empower small business across India by providing access to the right digital tools, expert training and valuable guidance for growth. Excited to be part of this transformative journey.
I am very excited for the MSMEs and I am thankful to the Government of India for developing and dreaming of such an innovative program that is going to be such a help to all of us.
DX Edge would enable academia and students to engage with real industry challenges, build future-ready digital skills, and become catalysts of India's transformation.
Very excited to be part of this program, DX Edge. It also promotes industry-academia collaboration. We are also involved in doing industry projects, consultancy projects, and also product development. So these three schemes combined together will truly help us to connect with the industries for the benefit of the industries as well as our faculty and students.
The whole vision of the DX Edge program is to see how to transform MSMEs. We are indeed excited and proud to be part of this initiative. Being in Coimbatore, in this ecosystem where MSMEs are the heart blood of whatever we do, the college, its professors and students will have an enormous opportunity.
So this initiative will certainly help MSMEs to transform their existing capabilities, but at the same time it is going to be a big advantage for my students. Through this process, they are going to acquire the industrial oriented competencies which will in the long run will make them industry ready workforce.
I'm proud to be part of the DSH initiative. By working directly with businesses and tech experts, we are gaining practical knowledge which is making us ready for the future.
This DXH program will help us as students to work on business problems. It will be a good opportunity for us to understand the application, the way AI will change the industry, how the industry will use this AI feature.
Through DXH, we students get to work on real business problems, understand emerging technologies like AI, and even support the local enterprises with digital strategies.
DXH offers technology solution providers a powerful platform to scale their innovations, reach MSMEs nationwide, and drive impact through collaborative digital transformation.
Together, we are enabling MSMEs in particular to grow faster, smarter, and stronger. Essentially, what we are doing is leveraging the power of digital to build a thriving and self-reliant India.
We are committed to delivering value to MSME sector. We are also happy to collaborate with CII and the TFTX as a technology provider. Through this partnership, we hope to accelerate their growth and contribute meaningfully to India's economic and societal progress.
Truly appreciate CII's DX Edge initiative, which provides a unique platform for startups like ours to drive digital transformation and future-proof MSMEs through a structured framework.
As a startup founder who works closely with MSME manufacturers, helping them in their digital transformation journeys, I'm confident that DX Edge will be a game changer in terms of equipping MSMEs with the right skills, tools, and knowledge necessary for their future growth.
We at Productivity are proud to be the knowledge partner to the DX Edge program. Our domain experts are developing cutting-edge tools and training to diagnose the digital maturity and design transformation strategies for MSMEs. This will enable them to adopt artificial intelligence, automation, cybersecurity, and digitize their operations.
Transformative ecosystem of DXL is poised to empower thousands of MSMEs, transforming them into an economic powerhouse by boosting scale, business confidence and growth, while integrating Indian MSMEs with global supply chains. DXL, empowering MSMEs through digital transformation, transforming today, leading tomorrow.
I now request all the dignitaries on the dais to briefly step forward for the unveiling of the DX Edge brochure. May I request Mr. Sujit Haridas to join us on the dais? It is now an honor to invite our next speaker who has played a key role in steering national policy for MSMEs. He is joining me in welcoming Shri S.C.L. Das, Secretary, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India.
Respected CEO Niti Aayog, Chairman AICT, DG CII, Madam Ghosh, all distinguished guests. Thank you so very much for having me at this very significant event. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate our 4 very promising and inspiring young entrepreneurs for their wonderful and inspirational talk. Really very happy to see your success journey and really wish you all the very best for continued success in the future. I want to especially congratulate the CII and the Niti Aayog partnership in launching this DX Edge. This, to my mind, is a very significant and a very novel step in the right direction. It is basically designed just the right way. It is not a PPP, it is a public, private and academia partnership, a PPAP. And that's what is going to potentially make it work. It's so very much required here than elsewhere. So wherever we have this in MSME sector, as in the industry sector in general, this trimurti of the public organizations, the industry and the academia coming together in the right way, it is bound to succeed. So I think this particular design novelty, which is in my mind also a design necessity, is going to be the key to the success of this very novel and well-timed venture. And as was already highlighted, frontier tech and digitalization is no longer an option, it is a necessity. And our 4 young entrepreneurs have, through their own experience and through their own successes, amply demonstrated that. But to be able to move in that direction, what could the government policy do? The government policy clearly can provide some of the enablers. And consistently over the last few years, you can see
through various policy pronouncements and the budget announcements that these enablers are consistently flowing from the policy domain in line with the national vision of Viksit Bharat as espoused by the Honorable Prime Minister. In this budget alone, if you see, just to cite a couple of illustrations, the revised classification scheme, the enhanced credit flow mechanisms and the entitlements, and National Manufacturing Mission. I would cite these three examples before this August forum to illustrate the point that enablers are very much there. So what this very eminently designed, well-designed DX Edge potentially can provide is both the pull factors and the push factors. Pull factors are needed, they are not too much available in the government agencies because they are day-to-day busy in programs and operations. Even in the industry, business as usual, there is a lot of business as usual, so there is not too much of thinking what lies in future, how to move towards the future. So you require a platform like this with a roadmap which looks ahead and which clearly brings home the point that technology, if we are to really survive and grow the kind of growth trajectory we have, it is a necessity. And for at least three major reasons. One is pure existential. Because technology, there's so much of disruption through technology that only to survive you still need to adopt. Second is global, the global business environment, the headwinds we are seeing, the emerging challenges. So to remain afloat globally, you need those frontier technologies, you need to digitalize. And most important, because of our own very closely held, cherished goal of Viksit Bharat, for our own domestic growth trajectory, we need that. So with all this, a blueprint is very important. At the same time, we need those platforms, those instruments through which this can be delivered. So I think DX Edge to provide that model which through its public, private and academia partnership can show the way in which we can replicate and scale these efforts, because as was aptly highlighted, MSMEs have to be at the center of the journey. Whether it is for domestic growth, whether it is for growth of export, whether it is for adaptability for climate change, for having the required resilience in our overall economy and technological growth, we MSMEs have to be there across. However, as we all know, MSMEs is a nomenclature. It is not a sector. It is not a particular kind of entity. It is a particular nomenclature. So, for MSMEs, we need a very differentiated approach. And while we have about 6 crore plus, 60 million plus digitally registered micro, small and medium enterprises, out of these, just about 8 lakhs, 0.8 million are small, and less than 700,000, less than 100,000, just about 70,000 are medium. However, it's not about numbers. It's about the differential capability, the levels of digital maturity, the level of debt and exposure to debt, the capability to adopt technology. This is what is required. So we need a very differentiated approach. At this forum, when we talk, I would invite your attention and request you to focus more on the SME segment. For a simple reason that, as I said, our country needs both pull and push factors. Pull factors are those which will really take the technology forward, and I think SMEs have that capability to provide the pull factors. Government can provide the push factors by adopting a more universalized digitalization program which can kind of get across to all sections of the MSMEs, particularly the micros. That push factor, that broad enabler, the minimum level programs that readiness, the basic readiness can be provided through more appropriately through public funded programs, which should certainly be done. We are working on that. And we are being, there also we are being supported by NITI Aayog in terms of preparing the digitalization roadmap. And Madam Coach is also helping us. We hope to come out with that roadmap very soon. But coming back to the central point of technology-led growth, technology-enabled growth, we need to focus in a very well thought out, differentiated manner on the small sector, particularly because if you have noticed strategically, the new classification scheme gives the small a big headroom, and it was deliberately done to provide you that necessary stimulus and growth space for exports, for adopting new technology, for going more high-tech. So that is where the digital maturity is, and the appetite of growth is, and the credit environment, the financing environment from lending to equity is also being strengthened. And similarly, a different kind of a more enabled approach, probably more rooted in the industry and academia, less in the government, but certainly enabled in an appropriate is also appropriately is required for the medium sector. And so that we don't lose out on the totality of the MSME ecosystem, the large, huge base of more than 5.5 crores of micros, we need to generally uplift their standards in terms of basic digitization, taking them forward towards digitalization, and among them, create those upward mobility in technological terms, in skill terms, and in financial business growth terms, so that more and more can come into the level of small industries, and from there graduate to medium and thereafter beyond. So that is broadly the policy framework which we think would looking at the big picture should work. But as we speak at this forum, I think we need to move ahead with what has been unveiled today. It's a very potent force multiplier, I think is the right term for that. And it is not something, as has been said, of future, but it is about today, which will really inform about our tomorrow. So, at one time, small may have been beautiful in the time of E.F. Schumacher, but today, small is powerful. And we need to leverage technology to really take the MSME sector in general and SMEs in particular fast forward, because technology, if there's any exponential growth factor, it is technology. And that is, I think we have taken an important step in that direction. And I would like to again compliment this wonderful partnership, this Trimurti of public-private and academia partnership, and especially compliment the drivers, the COBB, the CII, who have been behind this. And I would like to express my fond hope for all our young entrepreneurs. God bless their efforts and let them be powered more and more with this technology, with this enablement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Das. May I now invite an academic visionary who has been working tirelessly to bridge the gap between education and employability. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman of All India Council for Technical Education.
Sabhi ko namaskar. Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm very happy to be part of this launch of DX Edge, transforming MSMEs to frontier tech. First of all, let me thank the dignitaries in the dais and off the dais, and in particular, Sri V.V.R. Subramanian, CEO NITI Aayog, S.C.L. Das, Secretary, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Ms. Devjani Ghosh, and Chandradeep Banerjee. AICTE actually is a regulator. They yourself call ourselves as a facilitator. So we started thinking about connecting MSMEs to engineering and diploma institutions for 2-3 months back. We started a portal called Talent Hunt for MSMEs. So we have about 7,000 MSMEs on that, SMEs actually, on that. And we started with that journey when this Jabjani Ghosh requested me, immediately jumped on to this wagon so that we could do transform it, because majority, large number of our students are there who are looking for some work, some job, internship, and other things. And there are a large number of SMEs and MSMEs. So this is a win-win situation for both of us. So I immediately jumped on to this opportunity. So as the head of the technical education ecosystem in India, strongly believe that MSMEs are the backbone of our nation's economic growth and development. And it is a golden opportunity for all the young engineers and professionals, particularly the management professionals who are with the AICT institutions, will be benefited by this, and also same the other way. So just to tell you, AICT has about 14,000 institutions, including engineering, diploma, management, and in addition to that, recently, in the last 2 years back, we took BBA and BCA also approval. So these institutions come every year to take the approval for their program. We are a program, and we also create a curriculum, model curriculum, and we also emphasize on the quality initiatives for these technical programs. So we at the AICTE has created many such initiatives, whether it is on innovation, startups, or on technological mindset for the students. So we have Smart India Hackathon, which is running from 2017 onwards. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is always present in every event of that SIH from 2013 to 2024. Last year we have received about 300,000 students participating. Okay. It's in a teamwork. So they do learn what is collaborative learning in this through these exercises, and also self-learning, digital learning. Is all many of these initiatives are part of the national education policy. They are emphasizing. So that is one part of it. The other part is we have a scale to match these initiatives. Number of students so far in higher education, including the BSc, is about 4.33 crore children. So we have more than that SMEs and MSMEs. So even if you won, this is still enough, not enough. But the growth of education sector is also going in a big way. The reason why I am saying that is, see, today it's growing at an unprecedented rate. Because today we are at gross enrollment ratio of 29% in higher education. We want to be, as per the National Education Policy 2020, we want to reach that 50% by 2035. So let's just carefully look at how did we get here and what is our plan. So in 1947, when we got independent, only 1% of our outgoing class 12 students were getting into higher education. Only 1%. We are all aware of Paul Becale's statement, Indians are no good for higher education. But by 2001, we reached about 11% of our students getting into higher education. 2025, we are at about 29%. So that means we grew at about, in 25 years, about 19% into higher education. But we wanted to grow another 22% in 10 years. That's a big gap. So we have about 1,200 universities, 45,000 colleges. It may not be enough for the incoming students. Because if you remember, we reached gross enrollment ratio in school education, that's to primary education, in 2015, 100%. So all those kids who joined school in 2015 are already in the 10th class. They're going to higher education. So they need jobs. So why I'm telling you that they need jobs, they need internship, they need training, on-job training, and all that is possible only when we integrate our work and collaborate with MSMEs. So this is where I saw the strength in working together with Devdani Ghosh and her team and also CII. So I thank them for giving these opportunities. So one of the important things I would like to say, how AICTE has able to create a quality education in the nation. With that, I will try to conclude. So, All India Council for Technical Education was formed through the Parliament, Act of Parliament in 1987, when large number of engineering colleges mushroomed in the southern part of India, starting with state of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Since 1987, this act came in to introduce the quality of technical education. Friends, you can note, we might be having large number of graduates coming out of India, but we have also been successful in placing all these engineers across the world. So if you look at the numbers from 1987 till now, we might have really graduated close to about 3 million engineering graduates. Because of this, many of our students are across the world, they are omnipresent in many of the technology companies. So this is the strength today we have created. And with growth of 50% crossover ratio, I think that our engineers and managers will be omnipresent across the world. So we can confidently say today that engineering and management education we have delivered to the world, not only this country. So with that strength in place, with the internal structure, because if you look at majority of our graduates have been successful also. See, if you look at the top technology companies in the world, all led by the Indian engineers. One of the degrees from one of the engineering colleges, I even looked at, I was the director at IIT Guwahati. I looked at how many of our faculty are from IIT section. When I looked at the number, 95% of them are having a BTech or a BE degree from one of the engineering colleges. 95%. Only 5% only coming from, because that's very, very clear, because we hardly admit 15,000 students to IITs, 23 IITs. But our engineering colleges are about 1.5 million engineers. So if you ask one of my faculties in any of the IITs, where did you graduate, they will only tell you the success story. I did my master's from IIT Madras, PhD from Carnegie Mellon, postdoc from Harvard. Then again I have to repeat a question to them, where did you graduate? When they graduate, they know the engineering colleges only, all of them. It's irreversible. Maybe we can ask that question even in this hall as well. So this is an opportunity where there is a strength in STEM education within India, because our kids are very smart. I myself taught in 7 different countries, full courses. And tell you our students, Indian students are excellent. They are hungry, particularly those who are coming from rural part of India. They are very aspirational, they would like to do something. So this is the time, I think, Vikasit Bharat 2047, and the Prime Minister's dream is going to be, is no more a dream. It is actually a reality, whether it is infrastructure growth, we look at it, whether we are looking at the industry's growth. And I think we are there as a nation to become a developed India by 2047. With these few words, I again thank CII as well as NITI to join hands with AICTE to make that transformation. Madam, we are there with you for future-proofing MSMEs in the digital era, because majority of our students, more than 50%, are taking only related to artificial intelligence and other courses. So there are a large number of people, so they also need support, and I think this is a win-win situation. So I also would like to conclude saying that recently I have also penned a book on how AI is going to transform. In the education world, it is available in Amazon. It is called, the book they titled as Road Ahead 2.0. How these digital technologies are going to transform every sector, including a beautician, how to adopt and improve the situations. In every sector we have covered, it is about 750 pages. Because I am a professor first, so I thought let us share some of our knowledge to everybody. With that few words, thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity, and I wish the program a great success. Namaskar.
Thank you for sharing your insights, sir. And now, it is my privilege and honor to invite on the dais our chief guest for this program, and one of the most senior and respected public administrators of our time, Shri Divya Subramaniam, CEO, CII.
My old friend,
Sri Banerjee from CII, Dr. Sitaram, also known to me, my colleague Devjani from VT, friends in this room. So my friendship with CII goes a long time back. I was in the Lalbagh Shastri Academy, not typical for a bureaucrat, teaching younger officers. In those days, CII used to run a TQ1 program, Total Quality Management. And at a then CB was not yet the head of CII. And we worked very closely on how to bring in quality into government. And how can you use the principles of total quality management to improve government's own performance. So that's some excellent people, and we try to impact that in a couple of governments. So happy to see that CII continues to look at practical, implementable stuff which actually help industry. And I think this particular initiative which they have started in collaboration with EPIO and the All India Council of Technical Education is a yeoman service to the sector as such. When I say sector, I'm talking of MSMEs, and Secretary MSME said MSME is not a sector, it's a terminology, it's just a classification, which is true. But I don't want to repeat about the criticality of MSMEs to the economy. You've seen the film, you've seen the speaker before me say that they are the biggest segment in terms of manufacturing, in terms of exports, in terms of GDP. So everybody pays lip service to MSMEs. I'm saying that very upfront. Everybody pays lip service to MSMEs. But actually, does anybody do much for MSMEs? It's a very difficult thing. But MSMEs have very, very unique characters. First of all, the MSME itself is a misnomer. You have micro, you have small, and you have medium. There are very few commonalities between the three. The micro is probably a mom and pop store. The drone DD will be a micro. And many other, 1 or 2 member units which are micro. And the other end is medium, which are actually nudging to become large enterprises. The future giants of India's business are going to come out from the medium end. So I think it is not even one uniform classification. The classification has so much diversity. It's not easy to capture the diversity. The problems, the challenges, and the potential for each is big. And by the way, that is the biggest challenge for the Indian economy. If people ask me what are the 2 most important areas for India to become to become a $30 trillion economy, I only say there are 2 things. One is education and skills. I mean, you've got this huge population, 140 crore people, will stabilize around 160 crores. If you don't educate them, are they going to get into gainful employment? You want skilled workers, you don't want illiterate workers, right? So then, if you don't invest in people, you have a challenge. The second biggest thing, the biggest sector or biggest segment of the economy is MSME, be it manufacturing, be it services. Without the growth of this, without investing in the growth of MSME, to think that you will become a developed economy is a mirage. So MSMEs are very, very critical. Not only from size of the economy, also for the 140 crore people who are there, because this is the biggest employment generator. I mean, that's absolutely clear. A large petroleum refinery which is set up, Indian Oil will set up something very, very big in Paradeep. How many people are they employed? They will not. They'll employ everybody in a control room. And they'll be looking at everything goes through pipes. MSMEs is where the economy hums, thrives, it grows. So I think that's very, very important that we focus on MSMEs. The second thing, India has had a huge success story in mobile phones. I'm just taking a random example. It's a fact. Now the big manufacturers have moved to India, and India has become a major player now in mobile phones, and it's a success story of our PLI system. But what's the other side of the story? 95% of what goes into a mobile phone, the components, etc., the plastics, the lenses, everything gets imported. And so now what is the second goal we are working on? To get the ecosystem to India. DP is working on a program to improve India's penetration in global value chains. To penetrate into global value chains, you need to have the ecosystem done. Which means what are they called? They're called intermediate goods. They're not final products, they go into some other product. Bulk of global manufacturing is of intermediate products. And who makes these intermediate products? Largely MSMEs. Intermediate products are not made by large companies. They are made by smaller companies who then sell it to, we saw in the first presentation, they go to OEMs, the rubber manufacturing. Big companies buy your stuff. And this segment has huge challenges. First of all, if we say we need an ecosystem for electronics here, we need an ecosystem for automobiles here, ecosystem means MSMEs, nothing else. The other characteristic of MSMEs is they exist in clusters. MSMEs cannot exist in isolation. So I think they have to be tackled in clusters, in groups. So the cluster has common challenges, common problems, and they need to be resolved. The other aspect of MSMEs is they are most affected by regulation. A big company, as somebody said, can hire a big consultant or an accounting firm or somebody else to do solution. MSMEs will get crushed by the weight of regulation. I think the Prime Minister has taken a major step in deregulation. I mean, there's a massive task force under the Cabinet Secretary, and work is going on to rapidly ensure deregulation of land issues, electricity issues, water issues. I mean, there's a whole host of stuff. We ourselves in meeting, when we were preparing the reports on auto component, electronic component, engaged heavily with MSMEs. What are the things that came out of it? What are the challenges in electricity? It's amazing. Nobody asked for subsidies. Nobody. If you ask them their priorities in terms of problems, first they ask saying, we have a problem improving our technology. They can't invest in R&D. They need technology. And technology will have to come from some academic setup or from R&D institution. Two, the second problem, skills. Large companies can train their employees. We can't invest in training to the same extent. For us, it becomes a cost. So we need skill. So lack of skilled workforce affects MSMEs disproportionately. A Foxconn with 40,000 employees will train their staff. An MSME with 10, 20, 50 people can't train their staff. This is the second. The third thing which they have is issues relating to quality certification standards, etc. Because they can't buy all stuff. You need quality certification systems, and all of you who are into manufacturing know how important certification is for sales. The world works on certification. I go to Tirupur and I go to some of their garment manufacturers, they are largely into detect the movements there. And there are a bundle of 20, 30 labels each product needs to have if it has to be sold to a foreign customer. Eco label, child labor label, wildlife label, I don't know who are. But that ecosystem is there and it's essential. Without that, but you can't go miles and kilometers to get that label. You want that cat who gives that in your neighborhood. It becomes very, so you realize that MSMEs are hamstrung by very unique problems. And I think VT is working in that direction. But what are the first steps which I mentioned? It's technology. The technology here again is two parts. One is technology in the production process or the product itself, and the other is the technology in managing the production process. So you've seen today 4 fantastic examples. And I was actually taking a photograph of the people who spoke today, their names and addresses. We will be reaching out to you because you've done a wonderful job. In whatever you've done, be it Nagaland and be it in wherever there was no addresses in the other one. I saw one was I think Noida. It's excellent work. It's a good demonstrator. And as Secretary MSME said, technology is going to be the decider of your fate and fortune. There are 2 types. You need to improve products. That you will have to get from your vendor. You're the vendor, whoever your buyer is. They will have to integrate you. The Japanese ecosystem is very good because almost all large Japanese companies have strong vendor development programs. They actually tell their supplier, go and do these things. The second is you need to cut costs. We heard this story about, cutting costs from suppliers. It's essential. I mean, margins are thin. And how do you then manage to run a business and make profits? You need to leverage technology to manage your processes more efficiently. And we saw 3 out of the 4 examples were about how do you leverage technology to reduce costs. In this context, where processes and adoption of technology is very, very important. I really compliment CII and the head of my Frontier Tech Hub, Johnny, for curating this initiative, and AICTE for collaborating. What is DXH doing? DXH is bringing multiple actors together. If there is an individual entrepreneur somewhere in the country, and that entrepreneur needs to use technology for improving their production processes or management, the local university or college will act as a mentor and upgrade or upskill them so that they can utilize technology for being a better business. I think it's a fantastic one. You saw the numbers. We have 6 crore MSMEs. There is no way government reaches 6 crores. There is no way even CII can reach 6 crores. The only way is every engineering college, every student in the country reaches out, and in the process you are actually tackling 2 problems. You're tackling the problem of the MSME. You're tackling the problem of the students. They're getting real life exposure and experience. Think of writing on their CV that they have worked with 3 companies to actually help resolve their problems. They become far more employable in the process. So with one stone, you're killing 2 birds. So I think it's a fantastic. And you look at the way it's being done. You do a diagnosis. You first create awareness. You saw from the presentation by Vijay. There is awareness that we need technology, we need AI. People know. But the next question is, how do I do it? The why is known, how is not known. The second step is do a diagnosis. 3 is help them get solutions. So I think that's a fabulous process. You're not only improving the technological base of the company, you're future-proofing them. You're making them ready for the future. India is going to be. Yesterday morning I was reading a report of one of these big banks, one of the global banks. We are already the 5th largest economy. End of next year, we will be the 4th largest economy. And somewhere in end of 27 or early 28, we will be the 3rd largest economy in the world. But we cannot be that if we don't raise the standards and manufacturing systems across the country. And I think DXH is a very fundamental critical initiative. The only challenge is, even if you see the numbers, micro is about 99% of the 6 crores. But being a large country, even if it's 0.5% are small, 0.5% translates into about 5-6 lakhs. And then if you look at median, there's not a small number, it's about 70,000. And for me, these two are even more important. The medians today are going to be the large companies of tomorrow. You know, the tomorrow's Maruti's and the Tatas, the big companies will come out of the median. And they will have to be not only technologically savvy, they have to be on the cutting edge. They have to be on the production frontier if they have to actually move on. And I think that's a very big challenge. And sometimes when I think of the Indian economy, I worry. We have a large number of large companies. The number of medium companies are smaller than the number of large companies. Then you see, where is the growth going to come from? It's an institutional structural problem. We do not have enough medium companies. If you have 100,000 or 1 lakh medium companies, you'll get 50,000 large companies 10 years down the road. If you don't have enough medium companies, how do you get the large companies? So actually, our country has a problem in converting micro to small, small to medium. And it's not only about laws and regulation. It is actually how do you handhold them to become big. And I think DXH is a first step in taking you all in that direction. How do you work? How do you translate this into practice? I was just telling the head of CII, that every state CII has offices. Then as affiliates, they have industry associations everywhere. The beauty of MSMEs, they are all organized by local associations. You have a Coimbatore Association, Tirupur Association, you have a Rajkot Association, Surat Textile, Surat Dye, they're all there. Work through them, reach to them, and see that more and more. And on the other side, you have the local colleges. I mean, luckily there has been a boom in engineering education in India in the last 20 years. And this combination of the two, so you get the manpower. On average, India has about 2 billion students doing engineering. If I'm not wrong, 2 billion, 20 lakhs. So that's enough to handle the size of the problem. Even if they do 3 projects each, every company will, you're talking of 6 million MSMEs can be touched in year 1. Once it picks up, it becomes a habit. MSMEs will keep reaching out. Sometimes when I do industry consultation in Chennai, and we were doing it for auto component, the number of times the auto component people are referring to, oh, we're working with IIT Madras to do this, we're working with IIT Madras to do this. It is amazing. The tech part of IIT Madras has actually become a role model of industry and academic collaboration. But it's a high level. This is at an MSME level, and it's a fabulous concept. It will make a huge difference. And we've heard CII telling they will open 500 digital transformation centers. That's a huge number. And that will be the base which can actually transform Indian manufacturing. It's a fabulous example of industry, academia, and government coming together to push. The Department of MSME has got its entire might behind this. The details of everybody is there. There's a portal there called Udyam. And I think everybody is actually registered on that. So reaching out, sending out flyers to 6 crore is not a difficult thing. And then we will have to start connecting. And a lot of these connections can be digital. I think it can be very, very successful. And last words, in the 90s there was another wave which swept the world. First time the PC came. IBM invented the PC. Now they're all dinosaur, but there's the IT revolution which went through the world. There's a beautiful book written by a professor, the sociology professor, Roosevelt Moss Cantor. The title of the book is When Giants Learn to Dance. How large corporations cannot survive unless they learn to dance. The strength of MSMEs is you are very good at dancing. The reason why you are good at dancing is it's survival. You can't survive unless you keep dancing in multiple pressures. And so, I think this DXH will be a fabulous tool to make you a better dancer. Wish you all the best. I wish this program is successful. Thank you very much.
So that was, CEO Niti Aayog motivating us phenomenally. It's really showing us how to traverse the roadmap that he has given the vision for. But also, I guess he's also challenged us. And and this can be a phenomenal, if I may say, unique academia, government, industry collaboration. We've been talking about collaboration with academia and industry for ages, bits and pieces, but this will really give us an outcome. So we will look forward to your continued mentorship and guidance and between the AICTE and Niti Aayog and CII, involving all our other associations across the country sectorally. We will make this happen. And when you review it at some point in time, I hope we can get some marking system and appropriate marks out of this. If Jerry has got anything to add at the end, otherwise we'll conclude. Please, Jerry, please have the last word. You are going to be a critical player.
With us, and we are going to succeed in this mission. Thank you, everyone.
So guys, this is the end of the
Before
session.
we conclude,
Launch of
DXH,
DXH, organized by CII and Morda Sheraton today on 26th March 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Have a
join
nice
me
day.
welcome on stage the representatives from Ajay Kumar Engineering College, IIT Manipur, Kumara Guru Institution, Lovely Professional University, MAM College of Engineering and Technology, Rajlakshmi Engineering College, Sikkim Manipal Institute of Technology, SMS Lucknow, Sona College of Technology, and Vishwakarma Institute of Technology. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.